wanted to make a very quick video on the new Buggy spoiler. Many of you that follow this channel follow me for Nami, but know that I do like the underdog blue strategies, and I've personally gotten a bit of a liking to Buggy, and this is the type of support we need. Now, this notably is out of a promo, I believe, so the supply to this may be a little limited, but for the sake of stuff on the sim, we're really gonna be jamming here. This is exactly, again, what Buggy needs. A blue character from promo, number 84, 7 cost, 8k power, cross Guild 4 Emperors type character. This character cannot attack. Big downside already. But again, 7 cost or higher matters here. If your leader is Buggy, all cost 3 or 4 characters cannot attack. Ooh, that huge implications, because this deck needed an anti-aggro tool so bad. And this is it. This is one of the single craziest cards I've ever seen. And this is how you design a character right here, because it's specifically for if your leader is Buggy, it's only for the Buggy decks. And then on play, up to one of your cost 6 or lower cross skill type characters, you can play from your hand for free. Another big bonus for this deck in terms of cheating out cards, gaining advantage, taking down the card advantage. So let's break this down from multiple perspectives here. So first and foremost, what again this deck struggles with is an anti-aggro package. This deck really struggles early. You tend to have to take a hit or two, but what's nice about this card now is with the inclusion of this card, we now have a way to just blank out 3k characters, 3 cost characters or 4 cost characters, which is going to be absolutely insane against the aggro decks. And another big part is this card allows you to cheat out more characters. Usually our engines have been 7 cost Croc, and you could use that to play into maybe like Daz Bones or Alvida or whatever it might be. You could also cheat out Moji, so you could go 7 Croc Crocodile into Moji into Richie. The thing is with Moji into Richie as like another engine is that Richie is a 2 cost character, which is very important for something like Buggy. Buggy, when you cheat it out, requires you to have the other 4 slots on your board be occupied by 5 cost characters or more, or you have to bottom deck it. What's nice with the new Buggy is it's a 7 cost character that cheats out another 5-6 cost character. It's 6 or less. Ideally, you'd be cheating out another 6. And so that's another way to get out more characters on a board so that your Buggy stays on as a 10 cost, 12k power Red Rock. And that's exactly what you need in this deck. I mean, look, if we go back to it, this card has no counter. Fine. Crocodile has a counter. Draco Mihawk, which is going to be the card that you're cheating out with this, doesn't have a counter, but the fact that we now get to cheat out the blocker is huge, because usually you'd go Crocodile into like Daz Bones, which allows you to draw 2 cards, trash 1. But now Buggy allows you to not only blank aggro attacks, but then put out a blocker for what can attack and draw 2 cards, discard 1 card. Huge value in terms of that. And again, hyper enabling the Buggy to allow you to just give you more angles to cheat out more cards. So if you're on the play, you go 1 cost, maybe you play out like Mr. Galdino here, and then you go Sanji's Pilaf on 3, then on 5, you may, choose to cast one of these, maybe the Mr. one, Alvida, whatever it might be, or you can then cheat out Crocodile or Buggy to then go, Crocodile into Moji and a Richie, or you go Buggy into Draco Mihawk, and then you're off to the races. You pretty much stopped everything your opponent can attack you with on that at that point. And then Draco Mihawk can block into whatever else is coming their way. And at that point, you're at 7 Dawn. You can then hard cast something like Crocodile into something else, then hard cast Buggy into something else. And then you go to your 9 Dawn turn, you're going more and more and more. And then on 10 Dawn, chances are your board is full enough. You can Buggy out on 10, you can cheat out something else, and you take it from there. Again, so much value to be had. I'm so excited for a card like this. And in terms of the decks it's stopping, first and foremost, this is lights out for Flamingo. Lights out. This is an OP09 deck list, and notably, it is not playing a single Red Rock. The fact that this card costs 7 is so important because it dodges Gravity Blade. So you can't even play Gravity Blade against the other blue decks that might be trying to stop the Doffy decks playing Gravity Blade. You dodge that. Doffy decks max are running like 2 Red Rocks. 2, if any. This deck gets shot out. You put Buggy out, 4 cost, 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 1, 1. Because guess what? This deck is trying to cheat out 4 costs. You essentially have a card that enters play and says, Doffy does not work. This deck cannot win. That essentially is what this is. absolutely insane. And again, we're getting the support ASAP. This is not, we're going a whole meta with whatever. And obviously for the 08 folks, you know, we're going to get the starter decks in and Doflamingo's going to take over the metagame. That's fine. Talking about 09. This is huge anti-aggro support in a metagame where Doffy is definitely a tier 1 strat. Huge anti-aggro, anti-Doffy card, straight out, highly synergistic with so many other aspects of the deck coming out in Buggy. Big support for this deck. And I mean, again, speaking of like anti-aggro stuff, this is stopping, you know, the Yuta decks here. Let me like kind of shift my camera here a little bit for this. So I mean, this is an 06 list, but generally speaking, the Yuta decks have, you know, the blocker here, the Draco Mihawk, the Izo, the Usopp if they want to play it, Brook as well, Sanji, like again, like huge parts of this deck cannot attack. And I mean, don't even get me started for the Zoro players. Oh, the Zoro players are crying. Yo, we got Chopper. King Bear, like literally, yo, Kid and Killer. Nothing can attack out of this deck. Nothing can attack out of this deck. The Doffy players and the Zoro players, they're crying right now because this is a card that needs to get banned for them ASAP. A lot of big meta applications, and I'm so happy to see a tool like this. Again, not for blue universally, but just to see it in Buggy as to round out its package. I'm surprised this wasn't available like from the get-go. Buggy is definitely one of the lower tier decks like that are fresh out of 09, but with a tool like this, I'm not saying it's becoming tier 1, but with a tool like this, it's now playable. You now have an angle against the aggro strategies. You obviously still have to like kind of contend with the card disadvantage that this deck works against, but having that anti-aggro tool is worth it. It's so good. You drop a card, you pay 5, but then you play out a 7 cost that stops a bunch of aggressive creatures and cheats something out. You get 2 bodies. Just so good on so many angles, and I cannot be even more excited. So this is people talking about on this Reddit thread on the reveal, rip Zoro, rip Yuta, like you know, this would this would have gone so hard if RP Law was around. Hondo P, this would have gone so hard. And then obviously everyone talking about the susness, like, yo, why is Buggy a feet guy? My man licking boots, like, why is this kind of sus? What's going on? My man's sweating like the goon level. 10 out, like tier 1 goon level right here. I don't know what's going on. Like, my man got the shoes in his face. This is a next level feet domination right here. I don't know. The sussiness of the photo is not for me. That's whatever. You're allowed to have your kinks. You do you. It's not me. I'm not kink shaming. I'm just saying this kind of sus. Yo, but I didn't know Buggy was like that. But all in all, this is a card that I'm really excited for, and I cannot wait to get around to it. Again, as a Nami player, I'm really excited for like the underdog blue strategies. Y'all know that I really do like to jam some Vankov, and seeing a deck like this being viable, getting tools like this, I can't wait for even more cards to come out, like 10 cost cards outside of Buggy for this deck to get access to. I mean, it already has that unique angle against Blackbeard where Blackbeard can almost never activate its nullify effect, like the black hole effect, not allowing ETBs, because then you just get your Buggy for free, right? So you already have these like small interactions that you can use to your advantage. So having a card like this is so big. This card is an immediate play set. I don't care what you're saying. If the meta is even remotely aggressive, this card is an immediate play set just because of, again, stopping the aggro decks, because it's searchable and allowing you to cheat out multiple characters onto the field to flood your board to further enable the 10 cost Buggy. Just cannot be understated as to how good this card is. But anyway, let me know what you think in the comment section down below. I want to throw this video out real quick. I'm really excited for a card like this. Do you think Buggy becomes tier 1 after something like this? Do you think it's maybe not tier 1, but playable now, has a way, has a spot in the metagame? Let me know what you think. I'd love to hear your thoughts down below.